From Rock Hill, South Carolina, the South Atlantic Conference women's basketball quarterfinals get underway between the first-seeded Coker Cobras and the 8th-seeded Limestone Saints. We welcome you inside our broadcast setup here in Rock Hill. Tyler Katz joined alongside Adam Cavalier for the first quarterfinal of this women's basketball tournament. Adam, taking a look at these two teams. Coker came out of absolutely nowhere to win the regular season title in the SAC.
I thought it was a big deal last season when Coker was in the tournament for the first time in a decade as a 7 seed. That was great to see what Melissa DeVore and company achieved. I don't think anybody in their wildest dreams envisioned going from a 7-1, but historically Coker over the last decade has been one of those bottom 4 teams that has missed the tournament. Phenomenal to see the turnaround that Melissa DeVore has pulled off there. And now she gets to go up against her mentor in Corey Fox as a former Limestone assistant. This one has some really intriguing elements to it.
Well, you mentioned Limestone sneaking into the field. A lot of teams were battling in. Limestone just making it in to the field of 8. And Adam, who are we looking out for those Saints this week?
For the Saints, it starts with Kalisha Hill, second-team All-SAC performer who averages near a double-double a game with 13.6 points and 9.0 rebounds per game. She is, as well as Reagan Cargo, one of the 2 straws that really stirs the drink for the Saints. A great post player, really capable of doing some inside things for the Saints, and that's why she is an all-conference player, no question about it.
And then for Coker, you talk about the run that they've had. Who's led them to that spot?
It's Shantiana Tillman, and Tillman, player of the year in the league. Pretty sure that one was a battle between her and Anderson's Diamond McDowell. Tillman, very versatile guard, and these teams have such similar play styles. They both love to provide a lot of pressure, but Tillman, 17 a game, 5 boards, bit of a volume shooter. She's attempted 383 shots on the year, but certainly can score at 30 points she had earlier this year against Newberry, and one of the league's best defenders. Should be a really entertaining matchup for a 1 versus 8. Women's side, I think, wide open. Anybody can beat anybody on the women's side. We saw that in the regular season, and maybe we'll see it here in the tournament.
Well, I want to point you over to this. 3-pointers are going to be aplenty between the Cobras and Saints. Coker, number 1 in the league in threes. Limestone, number 2. The one X factor, Limestone, 2nd in the league in 3-point defense. So how well can that stop the Cobras today?
Well, here's what we've seen in this venue over the last now, I guess, 16 games, including the 2 men's quarterfinals earlier today. This is not a shooter's gym. And outside of Wingate's women last year, they got hot in this facility last year on their way to the tournament title. Outside of that team, this is a gym where the jump shot has gone to die. It will be very interesting to see with both Coker and Limestone's propensity for firing away from long range if they turn their attention to that. Coker shot 33 threes in the last meeting between these 2 teams.
Limestone and Coker, the women's basketball tournament is underway in 2025, and it's the Saints winning the opening tip. Amara Newsom was acting as the initial point guard for the Saints. Typically see a different mix, and we'll get an early foul just 14 seconds into this one.
Well, both these teams provide a ton of pressure, and it'll be interesting to see how that bears out, especially if it's a tightly officiated game. The foul count could rack up in a hurry.
Kamari Thompson booked on the early foul just 14 seconds in. Limestone still in the first possession. We'll see how much the threes rain for 2 teams that like to chuck it up from beyond the arc. And a great offensive rebound keeps the opening possession alive for the Saints in blue. Quick shot, back iron, and we'll see how the Cobras get to work offensively on their first possession here in Rock Hill for this season. The regular season champions looking to defend their stake to that name with a tournament title win before the regional tournament coming up next. A high arcing shot out of bounds, and it stays with the Cobras with 8 to shoot.
Quality defense by the Saints. That was good position down low, but the help side defense from Gracie Poe made that shot a little bit more difficult.
Needing to work quickly with just 4 to shoot. A shot taken by Mariah Mitchum, but a foul called, so it looks like our first points of the ball game may come from the charity stripe. And it's Cargos who is called on the foul. Not somebody who you want to get into foul trouble early if you're Limestone. Cargo with 12.9 points per game, and the first opportunity on a free throw attempt is no good. Mariah Mitchum at the line, a 73% free throw shooter, the senior from Columbia, South Carolina, and the Ridgeview High School alum in her senior season at Coker. Second shot is no good, so we're still awaiting for the first number on the score column for either side. Limestone's second possession, Gracie Poe, a junior out of Bicknell, Indiana. A feed inside, cut to the paint, double-teamed shot. Kalisha Hill decided to take it, and she ends up drawing the foul.
Well, you said it in the pregame. These teams love to shoot threes. The instructions clear for both Melissa DeVore for Coker and Corey Fox for Limestone. Get the ball inside. Both these teams are prone to fouling. That's part of the play style. They are in your face and aggressive. And so far, it's free throws the only opportunity to score.
Kalisha Hill gets the first point on the scoreboard. Senior from Saluda, South Carolina, the leading scorer for this Limestone squad. 13.6 points per game. She has 9 double-doubles on the year, averaging, as you mentioned before, 9 rebounds per game. A lane violation will get her a third attempt. So a chance to take a 2-point lead. Hill with a second opportunity after a lane violation, and this time she buries it. So a 2-0 Saints lead early. Coker coming off back-to-back losses to end the regular season, trying to snap that spell with a win here in the quarterfinals, falling on the road at Wingate and Carson-Newman. A long 2-point shot connects, and the first field goal of the game from either side belongs to Waswa.
Waswa just given a sliver of daylight. A dribble up, shot it in rhythm. She can make those.
In the paint, floater just misses. Fast break the other way with numbers. Tillman puts it up herself, finds the basket, counted and one. Tillman just going aggressive down the floor, took it coast to coast, and to add on to it, she gets a chance for a bonus with Limestone failing to catch up, and Newsom called on the foul.
Well, Newsom was hands up, but she still ran through her with the body, so that's a no-doubter. Great work by Tillman, grabbing the rebound on one end and going full send the other way.
So a 4-2 Coker lead, first lead for the Cobras as the and one free throw misses. Back out to Poe. The best three-point shooter on the team is number 3 in blue in Gracie Poe. We'll see if she gets the feed. She's heavily guarded by Tillman. And there's another steal opportunity. It was tipped by Waswa. Limestone able to maintain possession and control, but the shot clock was running down the entire time, and the Cobras caused enough chaos to force a shot clock violation.
Yes, it's a turnover, and credit Coker for the active hands to dislodge that. But credit Limestone's Reagan Cargo a lot, too. She keeps that ball alive in the backcourt, and instead of an easy 2 on the other side for Coker, shot clock violation, Limestone at least gets to set up its defense.
First women's quarterfinal. Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial, the 2-7, also taking place later tonight as a solid layup from Deja Ferguson gets another 2 on the board for Coker. Limestone still looking for its field goal. The only 2 points for the Saints coming from the stripe. Poe draws up a play. Heavy defense, another steal, and a transition foul. We've seen this a lot, Adam, in the first point of this game. Coker is able to steal it seemingly at will.
Yeah, Coker's doing a nice job on the perimeter with active hands. It was Tillman on the previous. This time it's Mariah Mitchum just playing the passing lanes, getting deflections, and Limestone, smart foul. If you're going to foul in transition, there's the time to do it. You force Coker to score in the half court.
Ball stays in bounds by careening off the official on the right wing, and Coker is able to continue the possession off of that. 3-ball connects. Tillman, the leading 3-point scorer for Coker, connects on the first 3-point field goal. It's 9-2.
That's all set up by the drive by Mitchum. Good inside-out action. Defense sucks into her inside. Tillman left naked on the perimeter.
Limestone second in the South Atlantic Conference in 3-point defense. We'll see how many 3-pointers Coker is going to be allowed to even take against the Saints defense. Tip pass looking for the steal was Mitchum. It stays with Limestone, but now they have an inbound with just 7 on the shot clock.
Coker's defense, they're number one scoring defensive team in the SAC for a reason. A lot of deflections. It's not necessarily anything other than that make it difficult to score, but your team gets frustrated. And here's another frustration point. A foul, you turn it over without even getting a shot attempt.
And Hill is called on the foul. It's her first, and already those 4 team fouls. So the next foul against the Saints will be sending the Cobras to the line for 2.
Limestone really needs to stop. Not going to get
one. Oh, boy. Tillman again on the 3 from NBA range, and she's going to be greeted by her teammates back on the Coker bench as Corey Fox and Limestone call timeout. You talk about facing the former mentor. I don't think she was expecting to be leading by 10 at the break. 12-2, Coker dominant in the first quarterfinal thus far. We'll be back for more women's basketball action here in Rock Hill on Flow College.
Our roots run deep here at Catawba College. So do our ambitions. We're pushing forward into life-saving, cutting-edge genomics research, powering up with geothermal heat and solar energy, going after national championships, and saying yes to the impossible, and then delivering on it. We don't just talk about saving the planet, revolutionizing education for the next generation, innovating business, unleashing creativity, or pioneering better, kinder, smarter healthcare. We do it. Good change starts here, with us. And it goes far. Just you watch. Catawba College. Good goes far.
Back here from Rock Hill, South Carolina, an excellent day from well beyond the paint for Coker. A long 2-pointer, a couple of threes, and Tillman is leading the charge early for the Cobras. Limestone looking for its first field goal.
I haven't scored in more than 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Those were the free throws. Absolutely need some answer points here if you're the Saints.
Has a chance in the restricted area, just too much muscle on the layoff glass. And Coker's taking it the other way. The Saints look desperate for answers after the timeout by Corey Fox.
Kalisha Hill had good position on that possession. Pass just wasn't on target, led her too far underneath the basket.
Back out to a wide open Tillman. She's allowed to connect for a third. It's Tillman, Shantiana Tillman with 11 already.
I guess the jump shot only dies in the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center if you're everybody except Shantiana Tillman.
A pickoff going the other way. Second chance opportunity. Back out. Waswa's 3, no good.
And Wass was a 24% three-point shooter. That's probably somebody that Corey Fox is a little more willing to let it fly as opposed to Tillman.
A brick three from Dior Shelton. Offensive rebound for Limestone, and they'll get the benefit of a Coker foul. And this goes against Waswa. Already a couple of fouls on Coker, 3 fouls on the Cobras. 20 seconds for Limestone to make something happen. Poe with the inbound. It goes deep to Reagan Cargo. Backs it off for Watson. She fires a triple. Make that a 2-point shot, a long 2. We've had now both teams connect on a 2-point shot with the foot on the 3-point arc. And that's the first field goal of the day for Limestone, coming more than 4 minutes in.
19 points scored in this game. Only 4 have come in the paint, all from Coker.
Another deep 3. It's from Tillman, who's fouled by Kalisha Hill. And Tillman will be allowed to add on to her already insane scoring run. She's got 11, has a chance to make it as many as 14 with 3 free throws coming for the 81% free throw shooter and Shantiana Tillman. And her first shot, no good. The junior out of Lower Richland High School, you mentioned, had a 30-point game against Newberry last month in February. And Tillman already with 12 in just the first quarter of our quarterfinal game here. If she can keep that pace up, this is going to be a special game for Shantiana Tillman. So she goes 2 of 3 from the stripe. Coker by 12. Make that Coker by 13, a 17-2 run after Limestone led 2-0 earlier today, earlier in this game. Tabling, who came off the bench, will pass it off to Shelton. Much more designed play by Limestone. The cut inside by Hill finds its way in. First points in the paint for the Saints.
Hill just one-on-one. One-on-one effort by Kalisha Hill. Coker wasn't helping on her. Good job attacking the basket. Get you some points on the board.
Limestone still looking to get into double digits. That's the first step of making up what is now an 11-point deficit. Shot clock running down on the Cobras. Tillman passes it out. Waswa's 3, no good. She's 0 of 2 from beyond the arc. Seems like Coker willing to experiment a little bit more with that lead built up. Limestone's tabling. Back out Hill, wide open Jay. She got pressure late. Offensive rebound, and Poe put back off glass. Solid effort by Poe to find the basket. We'll see what Coker draws up on the other end of the floor. Under 3 to go in our opening quarter. Back out, and a traveling violation called on Courtney Taylor. So the freshman gets called on traveling here in her first game at the SAC tournament. Ferguson checks in for the Cobras. Limestone attempting to slowly eat into this deficit. It was early mistakes for the Saints early that cost them a large deficit to the Cobras. And a foul against Coker will certainly help Limestone's cause. Courtney Taylor called on the foul. It's her first, team's 4th.
First time we've seen the Cobras set up the press today. Both these teams historically will use it, but so athletic are both the Saints and the Cobras. I'm curious if Melissa DeVore and Corey Fox have just conceded that aspect of the game to guarantee that, hey, you're not going to score in transition if you beat the press against us.
The winner of this game plays again on Thursday at the 5 o'clock game in the first semifinal. Shot goes up, a foul, a chance for 2 more from the stripe as Hill was fouled on the way up.
It was a good shot fake by Hill. That gave her a sliver of daylight to get around Legenauer and get the position to get inside. Didn't make the layup, but does get fouled. And that was generated by that shot fake.
So Hill will have an opportunity to add a couple of more. 72% shooter from the line. Will sinker first and gets Limestone a point closer to catching up to Coker, who's been nearly 3 minutes without a made shot from the field. Second shot's no good. Fight for the rebound. Good attempt by Hill, but Coker is able to keep it in possession.
Great hustle by Kristen Knight.
Coker setting up, looking to add on to the lead. It was built up to a 17-2 lead at one point. Coker has led up a 7-0 run. Long three-point shot is short. Offensive rebound, put back up, and a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Legener able to put it in. No, hold on.
They called steps first. Traveled before the foul.
Now, how often do you see that, the and one called and then the travel?
1, 2, 3. Absolutely, before she got the shot off.
A great call by the officiating staff here in Rock Hill. Heavy full court pressure. It's out of bounds and will stay with the Saints. Interesting to see almost Coker playing mind games of sorts, playing that half-court defense about half the time, and then almost at random deciding to take out the full-court press.
Yeah, when it's random, when you have those random traps, those random presses, it just impacts the team mentally. Makes a team uncomfortable. When teams are uncomfortable, they might not play as well.
Limestone, the 8 seed, entering with an 11-13 record in conference play. What a move underneath the basket, and Amara Newsom is able to find Nylon.
Get the ball inside if you're the Saints. If the jump shots aren't falling, take the ball to the hole.
Three-point shot is no good, and Limestone with the takeaway. The Saints on a sneaky slow run trying to catch up to the Snakes. Back out, wide open three. Dior Shelton says, yes, sir. A 10-0 run, and it's a field goal deficit for the Saints.
Now, this has come. Coker has settled for some threes. And the Cobras, it's not been Tillman. 4 straight misses outside. You take the ball inside. That's a good way to stop the scoring run.
Legener is able to get in. Coker playing with a bit of aggression after letting the Saints get so close. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 11.5 seconds here in the first quarter. Limestone has been able to connect on its last 3 shots. Poe, a offensive foul on Gracie Poe, and she'll be booked with a turnover to give the ball back to the Cobras.
Well, Limestone has made this run without Coker's SAC Player of the Year, Shantiana Tillman, on the floor. She's come back in for the final 19.9. Does she make a difference on this possession after having the absurdly hot hand with 13 first-quarter points?
Tillman, a perfect 4 of 4 from the field. 3 of those shots coming from beyond the arc. She's got 13 for the Snakes. A roll off to the left side. Nice move. Too much power on the shot from Kristen Knight. No shot didn't beat the buzzer.
We have a tie-up and a jump ball. It's going to be negligible and grant whoever has the arrow free possession at the start of the second quarter.
So it turns into a 5-point lead for Coker after leading by as many as 15, make that 13 earlier in this contest. It's a 5-point lead for the Cobras at the end of the first quarter here at the SAC Women's Basketball Tournament on Flow College.
Pursuit of wisdom. A wisdom to find joy in meaningful work and to seek the betterment of those around us. We will create the communities of tomorrow. We will work to cure diseases and fight hunger. We will run for office and serve our constituents. We will give back to our communities and build the businesses that will change the world. At Coker University, we will search for a better future and build it together.
So we come back here from Rock Hill. Limestone able to go on a huge 10-0 run to chop into the deficit. Got as close as 3 on the Cobras. Coker was able to get a bucket back to lead by 5 at the end of the first quarter. We went to official review. Remember, there was a tie-up prior to the first quarter ending. However, after the review, it was ruled that there was no shot with the clock expiring before that tie-up was called. So it will be Coker's inbound starting our second quarter of play.
Really a tale of two halves of that first quarter. Coker started 6 of 7 from the field. That's how they built that 13-point lead. Cobras, 1 of their last 7 from the field, while the Saints have made 5 of their last 6 shots.
So the Saints with all the momentum. Coker tried to end that. Limestone rebounded the basketball with their feet firmly set out of bounds, and pulling that rebound in was Reagan Cargo. Just didn't have the awareness of where she was on the floor. Tillman stops and takes the out. Coker using the entirety of their possession. Tillman another 3. That's her first miss of the day. Impressive, now 4 of 5 from Tillman. It gives the Saints another opportunity to draw ever closer to Coker. 3-point shot from Shelton. She buries it. We got a ball game. It is a 2-point deficit for Limestone, who has stormed back late first quarter, early second quarter, and are just a possession away from tying or taking the lead. Coker trying to mitigate that with a bucket on this possession. Long 2-point attempt, no good. Limestone the rebound.
That was a great timeout by Corey Fox with about 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. He's been doing it for a long time for Limestone. Loads of titles when he was back in Conference Carolina as a Final Four, perennially in the national rankings as a top 5 team. He knows what he's doing. Hasn't had the same success since the Saints joined the SAC. It's good to see a Limestone team in postseason play. Same thing for Coker. These are two teams that haven't had a ton of recent, this decade, postseason success. Limestone certainly had it in the 2010s.
Limestone looking for its first quarterfinal win as a member of the SAC, have lost in the quarterfinals in 21, 22, and 23. A foul on the way up. Limestone does have a game of postseason success in the South Atlantic Conference, an opening round win back in 2021.
That was the year that the tournament had every school in the league make it due to COVID. And I shouldn't say every school in the league make it. There were some schools that couldn't compete because of COVID. I think there were a couple on the men's side that missed that year's tournament. But certainly when you get to that quarterfinal round, the wins, the quality of competition magnified a good bit.
The first free throw no good from Deja Ferguson on a foul called against Newsom. And the second shot no good, so Coker on a dry spell, a foul called on the Cobras, and that's going to go against Ferguson, who was just at the free throw line. So got the benefit of a foul, went 0 of 2, and now called on a foul herself.
How do you weather the ebbs and flows of these moments? Coker had the hot hand early, 6 of 7 from the field to start the game. Since then, 1 of 10. Now, Coker's certainly a team that can rely on its defense, and we'll see how Coker is able to use that defense to generate offense.
Just a 2-point game. Coker led by as many as 13. A roll under the basket, rejected. What a block from Kamari Thompson. Going the other way, Cobras using some momentum. And it's stolen away. Dior Shelton with the steal. An opportunity for the Saints yet again to tie or take the lead. Loose ball, Shelton recollects. Tabling, 3-ball. Off to the side, Coker rips it away. Only one basket in this second quarter. It was a 3-pointer taken by Limestone. Coker still looking for its first points. From the free throw line, shot no good. Limestone with the defensive rebound. First quarter final of 4 in the women's basketball tournament here in Rock Hill. Quarterfinal number 2 coming up next here on Flow College. A turnaround, wide open look. Shelton. It just rimmed out. Rolled around every side of the iron. They get the offensive rebound to the Saints. A push-off offensive foul called on Poe. Got called on the push-off. It's already her second personal. This has been a very defensive second quarter of play. Only one basket from both sides, and that came nearly 2.5 minutes ago. Coker has been held off the scoreboard in the second period. A rollback. Knight off to Tillman. She's been the hot hand for the Snakes. A roll off, kiss off glass, side iron, and out of bounds. Limestone ball. These rims have been unfriendly, and the jump shots have gone to die, as you mentioned, from the first 2 men's quarterfinals that we've seen here.
Well, you're combined 1 of 9 from the floor in the period. Attack the basket.
Tabling will send it back out. Attacking the basket and putting too much on it was Kimbriel Barnes, and it's another turnover for the Saints.
I like that possession, though. You're trying something different. Get north-south, get to the rim. Sure, you missed it. Ideally, you make it or get fouled, but good action. That was a decent look, just too much mustard on it.
Coker working up some offense. Alternating left, right, down low. A lot of contact on the shot from Mariah Mitchum. Whistles swallowed, and it's Limestone ball. Only the Limestone women making the trip to Rock Hill. The men unable to qualify for the men's tournament of being one of the top 8 teams in the standings of 13. 3-ball from Cargo. It was a high floater. Hit glass iron, and comes out.
Coker will live with that possession defensively. If Cargo makes it, good on her. But that was a not in rhythm dribble back 3.
Long 2-point shot. The bank is open, and a shot good from Mariah Mitchum.
Same thing there. Decent defensive possession for Limestone. Mitchum makes a mid-range shot. That's a tough shot, and it's a inefficient shot even though she put it in.
Now Limestone walks with it. Coker ball yet again. Coker, that was their first make of this second quarter on a unconventional, I'll call it, shot from Mariah Mitchum on her first points of the game. And an easy walk call on the other side as Barnes took too many steps.
You had Coker, 1 of 12 from the field over a 10-minute span spanning the quarter break. Which team finishes the half well?
That question is yet to be answered. Big 3-ball shot, and it's good from Mariah Mitchum. Seems like the Cobras finding their wind again.
That's a nice little 2-shot sequence, especially that one. Good open look on the corner 3. The ball movement generates the open look, and Mitchum, not really known as a 3-point shooter. That's just the 17th she's made this season, but she knocks that one down.
Backing up and looking for options. Saints take a 3 from Cargo with the shot clock running down. Almost a necessary shot there from Cargo with the shot clock at 3. Now in transition. On the fast break, 3 from Waswa. Side iron, offensive rebound, fight for the ball, and the Saints end up coming away.
Coker didn't score on that possession, but great ball movement. Inside-out action, drive, the dish. Couple of good open looks on corner threes for the Cobras. First one went down, second one didn't.
A shot from Cargo, back iron. She gets her own rebound, sends it back out. NBA three rattles out. Solid attempt there from Poe.
5 minutes without scoring for the Saints. Mid-range jumper and a kick-out three. I don't mind the kick-out three, but the mid-range, attack the basket, to get the ball inside, try to stop that scoring drought.
A foul called on the way in, and it goes against Limestone Shelton. Limestone has missed its last 8 as we'll pause and come back here from Rock Hill. It's the Cobras by a touchdown, 24-17, here at the SAC Women's Basketball Tournament on Flow College.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Back here from the South Atlantic Conference Women's Basketball Tournament, a 24-17 lead for Coker coming out of the media timeout. Adam, it's been a game of runs, most recently for both teams, cold spells. What do both teams have to do coming out of the timeout to get the fire ignited?
Again, I just want to see the ball go inside. There are, especially for Limestone, you've had some lanes to get open and get to the rim. That is the recipe for stopping your scoring skid.
A kick out back to Tillman. Loose ball at the free throw line, just chucking up a shot. Great ball awareness there to just get a shot up from Kristen Knight. Doesn't go in, but saves the possession.
That was a heady play by Knight. If it goes in, you're a hero. No slack given if it doesn't.
No, and a push-off offensive foul. We've seen a lot of those from the Saints early on, and it's Cargo called on the foul, and already her second personal. Cargo, a player that Corey Fox and the Saints can't really afford to see get into foul trouble. Her alongside Kalisha Hill and Dior Shelton. Really the trio of Saints you don't want to see get booked.
Credit Limestone, their defense hasn't slacked off. Cobras are still just 2 of 10 from the field, while Limestone hasn't scored in 6.5 minutes.
A cut inside, and clotheslined was Waswa on the way in. So 2 shots coming up. Clark called on the foul, and that's the 5th on Limestone. So 2 free throws on every foul the rest of the way through.
Waswa nearly played that. Or Waswa did play it perfectly, getting to the line. Madison Clark nearly played that perfectly defensively. That hand just coming in across the chest right at the last second.
Waswa, the best free throw shooter on the team, goes 1 of 2 from the line. An 83% free throw shooter who, if she has a couple of career games, could reach 1,000 in her time in Rock Hill. She enters the tournament with 940.
20 a game over 3. I think Melissa DeVore would take that.
Oh, certainly. Mentioned she'd have to have some career games in there, but it's certainly attainable. A kick ball, and that's another turnover against the Saints. Already the 10th turnover against Limestone. Only 3 to this point committed by Coker. And it's been nearly 7 minutes of game time since Limestone has been able to find the basket.
Got about a turnover a minute, and 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. Too many threes. If those shots aren't falling, get the ball inside.
Well, Jackson called on the foul against Coker. Limestone just needs to see one go in. It would break a spell of 6 unanswered points by Coker. Limestone has not had a shot fall in 8 attempts, and finally finds Bader.
Cargo gets the ball inside. That's what you need to do if the shots from beyond the arc aren't falling.
So right as we mentioned, the dry spell for Limestone, Cargo breaks through.
Again, credit the Saints. They're playing good defense. That was only a 6-0 run for Coker, in spite of Limestone not scoring for 7 minutes.
A long 3 ball. Oh, my. Shantiana Tillman, her 4th 3 of the ball game. She's got 16, an incredible performance by number 0 in white. Seems like she's gone quiet in the second quarter, but she's found some life again with another 3 ball. As we're now seeing decimal points here in Rock Hill. First half coming to a close. Nice cut towards the basket. Too strong on the push by Cargo. And a foul called. Goes against Coker's Diamond Jackson, the senior from Lilburn, Georgia. A battle of 2 South Carolina schools in the South Atlantic Conference. See each other aplenty in every sport across the South Atlantic's offerings. Possession continues. Long 2-point shot rattles out from Watson. Coker hopes to extend the lead, which currently stands at 9. Back out in the corner. Fight towards the basket. There's contact, and Mitchum going back to the line. Madison Clark booked on the foul. So Mariah Mitchum goes back to the free throw line. It's her second trip. She's 0 of 2 in her first trip to the line. She'll try to mitigate that with a good trip here. A 73% free throw shooter on the season. And now 0 of 3 from the line.
Just want you to envision what this score could be like if Coker was making its free throws. 3 of 11 now as a team. That's a potential 17-point lead if you knock down all of them. You miss the second. Even if you're at 75%, you've got a 15-point lead right now. Instead, single digits. Saints are hanging around.
We saw in the first game a big 3 ball, no good. LMU in the first men's quarterfinal was more or less kept afloat by its free throw shooting. A shot floated up, offensive foul. Limestone will have a second and a half to score its 20th point of the game before heading into the locker room. And all things considered, an extremely low-scoring affair.
If you're Limestone, a 9-point game, you can overcome that. That is a deficit at the break that you can come back from. And you've got a chance for a heave here.
And they'll hold it. Won't take it. What an effort from Coker. Shantiana Tillman, 16 of Coker's 28 points, nearly defeating Limestone by herself, off by 3. Melissa DeVore has done an excellent job with Coker. Rose from the ashes, I should say, picked to finish 7th in the conference, ended up winning the regular season. The third member of our crew, Andrew Rogers, is standing by with Coach DeVore.
Thanks, Tyler, here with Coker head coach Miss Melissa DeVore. Coach, really good second quarter defense, and Shantiana Tillman was the player of the year that the conference picked her to be. What'd you like most about a strong first half to have a 9-point lead?
Yeah, I mean, we kept up to 19 points in the half. I think that's, our game plan is to defend. We want to chaos on the defensive end. We want to score off our defense. Our defense is fine. offense needs to this half, and we're kind of searching a little bit. Shantiana Tillman has had a tremendous year, so super proud of her player of the year. But she's got to settle in a little bit. I think everyone's just got to relax. It's a big moment. We've been here, we were here, but we've been the favor, so it's just new to us, and we just got to get them to come down.
What will it take to get the others around her more involved and get them their confidence to score the basketball to help her out and win this game in the second half?
Yeah, we're balanced. She was player of the year. We're really balanced. We have 3 people who average in the double figures. We just got to start making right reads. Again, we're searching on offense. We're trying to make plays that aren't there, and they're collapsing on our drives. We just got to trust that the other people are there and ready to shoot it.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck second half.
Thank you.
That's Coker head coach Melissa DeVore.
Appreciate it, Andrew. Interesting to hear from Coach DeVore that Shantiana Tillman needs to settle in when she's got 4 of 5 from her time beyond the arc, and the leading scorer with 16. Just shows how much she expects out of the South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year.
Tillman can't do it alone, and I think we saw what Coker's aiming to do a little bit with those corner threes off of drives. That is what they're trying to open up, potentially there in the second half.
All right, well, that takes us to our halftime break, a 28-19 lead. Coming up on the halftime report, a conversation with a couple of key aspects for our next quarterfinal between Lincoln Memorial and Carson-Newman. Halftime, it's 28-19. Coker in front of Limestone on Flow College.
The NCAA sponsors 90 national championships each year, none of which could happen without officials. There's an urgent need for sports officials across the country, as they are retiring 4 times faster than they are coming in, leaving shortages at all levels of sport. The NCAA recognizes the importance of officiating on the student-athlete experience and is dedicated to the recruitment and retention of new officials for all sports. There are many great reasons to become an official. Stay in shape and get paid to do so. Meet new people and build relationships within a tight-knit community. Give back to the sport you love by creating a fair atmosphere and upholding the integrity of the game. Say yes to officiating. Visit ncaa.org/say yes to officiating for more information on how to get started.
At Anderson University, we are on a journey, one that seeks to find the purpose for which God created each and every one of us. So we search, we grow, we dive in, and with a close-knit community, small class sizes, accomplished and supportive faculty, and a spirit that believes that together we can accomplish big things. The person we are striving to become doesn't feel so far away. So we push, we dream, we dig deeper, until our journey finds us as teachers, artists, writers, athletes, engineers, nurses, and friends. And while we're at it, we just might change the world. Anderson University, knowledge for your journey.
At the half of the Limestone Coker game, I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Lincoln Memorial head coach Devin Carter as the Rail Splitters take on the second-seeded Carson-Newman Eagles in the last game of the night at 7:30 tonight. Coach, you beat the Eagles twice in the regular season. What's the path for success for a third time here in the tournament? Something that you've enjoyed in the past. Last time you faced off in the SAC tournament, you handed Carson-Newman a quarterfinal loss 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, they're a very good team. The saying is it's always tough to beat a team 3 times, but they're super talented, have some of the best players in the league. We're going to have to rebound the ball, and we're going to have to take care of the ball. And then we're going to have to find a way to stop Taylor on the block. And so, that's been our recipe so far. And hopefully, we can do that and execute that.
Offensively, 2 weeks ago, the recipe was Smitty going off from wherever on the floor. What's it take to get her going again?
Yeah, I know they're going to be locked in on her. Obviously, her and Camille, all league players for us. I'm sure they're going to throw some different looks at her, but, she's done a great job of handling that this whole season. Really, when you go into a matchup, she's usually circled and penciled for the other team on the scout, and she's done a good job of really handling that pressure and also maturing along the process, understanding reads, and sometimes we don't have to take that tough contested two. We can hit a one more to a teammate, and so I think Smitty's smart enough. She's had more game experience than just about anybody on our roster, where she knows that she's going to be circled, but it's not the first time.
Devin, pleasure as always. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Stephen Carter will be back with a chat with Mike Mincy after these messages. This is the SAC Digital Network on Flow Sports.
Of facts, it is a fun pursuit of wisdom. A wisdom to find joy in meaningful work and to seek the betterment of those around us. We will create the communities of tomorrow. We will work to cure diseases and fight hunger. We will run for office and serve our constituents. We will give back to our communities and build the businesses that will change the world. At Coker University, we will search for a better future and build it together.
Our roots run deep here at Catawba College. So do our ambitions. We're pushing forward into life-saving, cutting-edge genomics research, powering up with geothermal heat and solar energy, going after national championships, and saying yes to the impossible, and then delivering on it. We don't just talk about saving the planet, revolutionizing education for the next generation, innovating business, unleashing creativity, or pioneering better, kinder, smarter healthcare. We do it. Good change starts here, with us. And it goes far. Just you watch. Catawba College. Good goes far.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Andrew Rogers back here at halftime of the South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championships, now joined by Jeremy Zalaka, the Assistant Commissioner in the South Atlantic Conference. Jeremy, second year now that this basketball tournament will take place at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. Your first year, though, with the league. What's been the most challenging part, getting ready for a 4-day, 14-game long event?
Yeah, just making sure everything's prepped and ready. Again, being my first year, you're not sure what obstacles you're going to run into. But just being ready for anything and whatever, and really excited to have this venue is amazing. It's really been neat to come over here and get everything set up and check it out. Now I'm really excited to see it with the games going and packed and high intensity moments, and just excited to bring South Atlantic Conference basketball here to Flow Sports and here to the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center.
What's the thing that fans will be most engaged with when they come to a game here or watch it on Flow Sports that you're excited most about for the week?
Yeah, the level of basketball that we have in this conference is unmatched, really, in this region, and really excited to just showcase all 16 of these teams coming to compete. Both sides feel like wide open. We have talented teams on the men's and women's side that can come in and make some noise here, and really this could be a preview of a regional. Just the level of talent and the venue and the fans, and just really excited to have a neutral atmosphere, environment for these teams to come compete, cut down some nets, raise some trophies, and go home with some hardware.
All right, thanks for the time.
Appreciate you.
That's the South Atlantic Conference Assistant Commissioner Jeremy Zalaka. We're at halftime here at the South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championships on Flow Sports.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Back here for the second half of play. Limestone was able to get back into the game with a late run at the end of the first quarter and beginning of the second quarter. Limestone rebuilt the lead. Coker rebuilt the lead back up to 9, and standing by with Limestone head coach Corey Fox is the third member of our crew, Andrew Rogers.
All right, thanks, guys. Andrew Rogers here with Corey Fox of Limestone. Coach, a really good end of the first quarter to get back within the game, but just a couple of baskets in the second quarter. What do you have to do better offensively to stay consistent? Had a good spurt there, but you got to be consistent. What will it take to get back to that?
Find a way to make one. I felt like we had some good shots. Cargo had some good looks. Hill was out the whole second quarter, so one of our main kids we go to, Shelton, had a couple good looks from the three. We just got to be able to move the ball a little bit better to get good looks. Coker's doing a great job denying and making our passes difficult. A little bit better ball movement, a little bit crisper execution. I think we'll have a shot here in the second half.
What's the most important factor for your team in this second half to come out with a win?
Keep defending like we did there after the first 5 minutes. We defended great the last 15 minutes of the game. Coker's a great team. We got to defend and get on the board so we can maybe get some transition buckets too.
All right, Coach, best of luck second half.
Thank you.
That's head coach Corey Fox. Guys, back up to you.
Appreciate it, Andrew. Interesting words from Corey Fox. We'll take a look at the South Atlantic Conference Women's Basketball Tournament bracket as entering this, the 1-8 matchup between Limestone and Coker. The 2-7 coming up next here on Flow College between Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial. A very intriguing matchup coming up tomorrow as well, and the one that I'm personally looking forward to the most, and the one that I think could be the most competitive game, Anderson against Mars Hill. Mars Hill, another surprising team that came out of seemingly nowhere to rank within the top 8, and they got themselves a matchup here in Rock Hill against the Anderson Trojans. That will be tomorrow evening from the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. Tyler Katz joined alongside Adam Cavalier on the call for this one, the third member of our broadcast team. Andrew Rogers on the sideline. You heard from him at halftime with both Corey Fox of Limestone and Melissa DeVore of Coker. Limestone will take the opening possession of the second half. Adam, you mentioned it in the first half. Limestone just needing to cut into the basket and focus on getting points instead of focusing on getting 3 points all at once.
Here it comes. Attack the rim. Now, good help side defense there by Coker. Easier said than done with Stanley protecting at the rim with the help side.
Coker looking to extend the lead. Did a great job of holding Limestone to just 19 points in the first half. Only a 5-point quarter for the Saints in the second, and Maya Waswa will open the scoring with a quick 2-point basket for Coker. The lead is back up to 11. Largest lead of the day for Coker, 13, so not that far off for the Snakes. Limestone, another cut to the basket. Watson, too much power. Second chance opportunity will get to the line for Kalisha Hill. Adam, it seems like it's been a recurring trend for Limestone. Get to the basket, get a good look, too much muscle.
It doesn't help that you have that late pressure coming over from the backside of the play. It was Deja Ferguson the previous one. This time it's Kamari Thompson. That lane looks open until all of a sudden it's not. And that pressure coming to the ball is what has forced those extra mustard misses.
Limestone with just its second miss at the free throw line today, 3 of 5 overall. Kalisha Hill, a 72% free throw shooter. had an incredible game a couple of months ago against Catawba, had 33 against the Catawba Indians that led Limestone to the 8th seed at the SAC tournament. Coker was able to sweep the Limestone Saints in the regular season in both Hartsville and Gaffney. Both games were double-digit wins for the Cobras. A cut inside between the rings, and it's Waswa able to find the score sheet again. Waswa's got 7. Up the floor with speed goes Dior Shelton. Cuts inside the basket, and that defense so strong yet again from Coker. Kamari Thompson right there. Transition bucket on the other end from Mariah Mitchum.
A great job by Coker. Get the rebound run, and Mitchum straight ahead of the basket. Had a step on our defender and knew she could attack. Biggest lead of the day for the Cobras.
Standing at 14, Coker 24-4 in the regular season, and a big whistle called against Limestone, or a timeout taken by Limestone, excuse me. And that will take us to a media timeout as well. Coker strong to start the second half. A 6-1 run for the Cobras as we'll take a timeout here on Flow College.
On campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Back here from the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center, first quarterfinal game here in Rock Hill on the women's side. Third quarterfinal of the day. Limestone, the inbound, trying to get some points here in the second half. And it's another trip to the line for Kalisha Hill. A foul called against Coker's Kamari Thompson. So Kalisha Hill goes back to the line. Hill has taken all 6 of Limestone's free throw attempts. Make it 7 and 8. She is 4 of 6 from the line today. Very odd to see into the third quarter one player taking all of the free throw attempts. Second shot is up and no good. 50% from the line today is Kalisha Hill, and thus Limestone also 4 of 8 from the line. Coker holding its largest lead of the day at 14. Limestone was able to cut it to just a 2-point deficit at one point, and just couldn't quite hold on that pressure. And the Saints will get a foul called on Kalisha Hill. Already 3 and a bit of foul trouble for number 20 in blue and white. Ferguson, the sophomore out of Roebuck, South Carolina, set a career high against Limestone earlier this season with 3 blocks in a single game against the Saints. Looking to go 2 of 2 from the line, and it's true. Once again, Coker extends its largest lead up to 16.
Got to find a way to get some easy looks if you're the Saints, and that's easier said than done against Coker.
That defense in the restricted area, the Cobras have locked the Saints in a vice grip, have not been allowing them to take shots inside the paint. Really the only areas that the Cobras don't restrict you on is that mid-range territory where Limestone has struggled to shoot from today.
Think of it like this. Dior Shelton made that three with 9:18 to go in the second quarter. Since then, the Saints 1 for 15 from the field.
The Cobras have their prey and are clamping down, squeezing tighter and tighter as the lead extends more. Tillman for three. She's been a big part of that.
Tillman just had a sliver of daylight. It was a good close by Hill, but she got there just a fraction of a second too late. Let Tillman get that shot up and in. A 9-0 run for the Cobras.
Tillman's got 19. Already surpassing her average points in a game mid-third quarter. Turnaround jumper in the restricted zone. And Limestone has come up nearly empty in this ball game inside the cylinder. Cobras, excellent ball movement. It's always a cut inside, pass back out if you don't get a good look, and the support is always there for the Cobras. Just great team ball movement. Gets into the corner and looking for the empty hand.
Saints have gone to the zone.
Tillman again. Oh my, it was almost her 22nd points of the game and instead comes up empty. The Cobras a single point away from doubling up the Saints.
Need an answer here in a hurry if you're Limestone.
The Saints can't get one to fall yet again. Kalisha Hill comes up empty. Hill just 1 of 6 from the field. Limestone shooting 24%. Corner three, no good. The Saints will get another opportunity.
Now, those are 2 straight good looks for the Cobras against Limestone going to that 2-3 zone. Shots just didn't drop.
Shelton loses the ball, and it's an easy steal for Kristen Knight. She goes up the floor in transition, dishes it off, and cutting inside, able to lay it in, is Maya Waswa. Coker drawing ever closer to locking up a ticket to the SAC semifinals on Thursday. Limestone would need to double their score and then some. Another missed 3-ball tie-up, gets out, stops the possession arrow from switching over, and the Cobras in a fast break. Layup off glass, and Kamari Thompson making it look too easy. Corey Fox calls his third of 4 available timeouts, and that'll take us to the break. 43-20. The Cobras again continue to constrict, and are about to take out the Saints. 4:37 to go in the third quarter here on Flow College.
Mars Hill University, helping you move your mountain.
Mars Hill University gives me plenty of degrees to choose from.
At MHU, I get the attention I deserve.
MHU keeps me close to home, and there's tons to do in the mountains.
Over 60 courses of study, small class settings, a breathtaking campus. These are just a few examples of how MHU can help you start moving your mountain. Visit us today at mhu.edu. Mars Hill University, education that moves mountains.
Coker has outscored Limestone 15-1 here in the third quarter, making the shots look all too easy. Adam, what have you seen from the Cobras here in the third?
Well, it's shot variety for the Cobras. You've got some threes from Shantiana Tillman, layups from Waswa and Thompson. The Cobras have scored the ball in a variety of fashions. Got Limestone into a zone, shot the ball over top of it. Saints seem frustrated. One of their last 15 from the field, one shot made over the last 15 minutes of game action. Credit the conference's top scoring defense, the job that the Cobras have done. Another shot. Limestone tried to take the ball to the rim, and the protection is there from Kamari Thompson. Coker's not making it easy on the Saints, even inside now.
No, the last shot made by the Saints came just under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter with a $1:49 on the first half clock.
You've got a free throw from Hill this quarter. That's it for the Saints.
Long three ball is no good. Offensive rebound, nice attempt by Poe to keep the possession alive for the Saints.
That's the thing, too. For a team that is shooting 22% from the field, as Limestone finally breaks out of the skid, a team that's only shooting 22% from the field, only 9 offensive rebounds. Coker's doing a nice job preventing the Saints from getting multiple cracks at the bucket with seconds and thirds.
And Limestone only 4 second chance points in that first half. Mid-range jumper is true from Kristen Knight. She's the best shooter from the field for Coker, averaging about 45% from the field this season. A steal opportunity, able to take it away after it pinballs around, cut inside, no foul called. Second chance opportunity is laid in by Kamari Thompson. Coker led by Shantiana Tillman with 19. Waswa's got 9 in second. Another steal. The Cobras relentless. Loose ball ends up in the hands of the Saints, but a jump ball will give the ball back to Coker. And it's Cobra basketball. Not necessarily a leading scorer for Limestone today, as both Dior Shelton and Kalisha Hill are the team leaders with 6 each.
Well, points have just been hard to come by for the Cobras. 1 of 9 in the period. Limestone started 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 21 since.
There was that first quarter run by the Saints where everyone in the arena thought they were giving the Cobras a game, and then Coker exploded and never looked back. A foul called will send the Cobras to the line, still doubling up the Saints. And Kimberly Barnes booked on the foul.
Coker's defense has just been on point. And I think what's more, they've caused some chaos, 14 Limestone turnovers. Fairly par for the course at the end of the day for the Saints, for what they average. However, Coker hasn't fallen into Limestone's pressure. Just 5 turnovers. They've played turnover-free after the halftime break. That's a big reason why they've been able to extend this lead out to 26 here in the second half with this 20-3 burst here in the third.
Winner of this game takes on the winner of Catawba and Wingate. That game tomorrow at approximately 5 o'clock here on Flow College. A roll off to the right side. Limestone looking for an opportunity. Coker asking for a call, and the only call that's made goes against the Cobras. Kayana Stanley, she's appeared in every game this season for the Cobras, and is booked on the foul. Not necessarily a starter, but a big role player is Stanley, the junior out of Wichita, Kansas. A layup is up and good. So Newsom able to find the layup. A 24-point lead over the 24-point scoring Saints of Limestone. Caught in a loose ball situation, taken away. Great handoff by Poe. It's a 2-on-1. Poe takes it herself, gets the end one off glass. Gracie Poe finally breaks through. It seems like every shot she has taken's either been heavily contested or she doesn't have a look and has to pass it off. She finally gets a decent look at the basket and is able to have a kiss off glass and finds the net.
Well, those types of moments have largely evaded Limestone today. Coker hasn't turned the ball over. That's hindered the Saints' ability to score in transition. And Limestone also really hasn't been able to score in transition off of Coker misses. So the easy 2s, easy 3s have it largely evaded Limestone, and a good chunk of that is the way Coker has played.
Free throws have been tough to come by today on both ends, as a travel and a walk on the other end will hand the ball back to Limestone. Both teams have combined to just make 10 shots from the charity stripe today on well over 20 attempts. 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Coker hoping it's 90 seconds closer to a semifinal appearance. Long three-ball front iron rattles out. Coker, fast break opportunity. Pass out to Courtney Taylor. Her three, no good. Heavy pressure, and there's the full court press that goes halfway. Once the Saints were able to break out of it, backed off.
Just how Coker defended that rebound. It prevented Limestone from getting an outlet, getting in transition off the miss.
It's the little things that add up. Kamari Thompson, Kalisha Hill able to find the basket for Limestone. 48-28. The lead for the Cobras. Either way, a tough opponent awaits the winner of this one in the next round. A solid transition bucket from Amara Newsom.
All of a sudden, Limestone's on a little 8-0 run. Coker's gotten a little sloppy with the ball. 3 turnovers in the last 2-10 with the Cobras, and Melissa DeVore with the timely timeout.
Yeah, it's been a sneakily quiet 8-0 Limestone run, just by the way that they have played this one, as we'll get a quick timeout called by Melissa DeVore, her first timeout that she has used today with just 20 seconds to go. But it could potentially be a turning point. 8 unanswered points in 2 minutes of game action. You do that a couple more times throughout this game, suddenly you're no longer talking about Coker doubling the score of Limestone, but Limestone making a huge comeback on Coker, who led by as many as 26 today.
Well, a 26-point lead is one thing to overcome. Tough to overcome an 18-point lead when you got 10 minutes and 19 seconds left in the game. That is a hard ask, especially as this goes on. Coker will start to do some stuff to burn the entirety of the shot clock. It's not to that point yet, but awfully tough ask to come back from down 18 with a quarter to go.
Certainly, you have to imagine Corey Fox is saying, let's just win every minute of game action. And it's who else but Shantiana Tillman, who's able to make a long 2-point shot to get Coker to the half-century mark. A 20-point lead is all that separates Coker and a trip to the semifinals. 10 minutes to go here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, here at the SAC Women's Basketball Championship on Flow College.
It's Wingate.
Back here from the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. I want to point you to a couple of team statistics. Limestone held to just 15% from beyond the arc. That's thanks in part to smothering a 3-point defense from Coker and the job that Melissa DeVore has done.
Well, Limestone hasn't gotten ideal looks from 3. Of the 13 shots that Limestone has attempted from beyond the arc, I don't know that one has come off the catch. They've all been off the dribble.
A foul called on the floor against Coker. It goes against Kamari Thompson. It is a 20-point deficit that Limestone will need to overcome to save the Saints' season. few seniors on the roster, including Felicia Hill and Reagan Cargo, the top 2 point getters for Limestone. For Corey Fox, Gracie Poe, who's more or less that third in command, does have another year. An excellent shot by Reagan Cargo, the grad student. Hits the deck, but still finds a way to get the ball to go in the basket.
It's a really tough shot, but better hands, though, across the way by the birthday boy, Patrick Britz. SAC Commissioner Patrick Britz, it's his birthday today. Great reaction time. Even as he goes year by year, he's still got the quick hands to pull in that ball.
Excellent plays both on and off the court.
It's really, truly unbelievable because he was a soccer guy. He was a college soccer player. Yeah, how about that nugget? And he went. I don't think he was a goalie.
I was just going to ask.
He pulled it in like a goalie.
That was the only thing that would have made sense on that.
No, I'm surprised he didn't do a bicycle kick. So athletic.
That would have been more impressive,
So
I will
athletic.
admit. A mid-range jumper for the Cobras is no good, going the other way for the Saints. And there's yet again that random full court press. Limestone, the entire game has seemed just be frustrated against Coker. Second chance opportunity finally falls in. Amara Newsom gets on the score sheet.
Limestone still chipping away. There is still time left, but you really have to play this final 8:45 perfectly. Can't let Coker get anything going.
Essentially need to have a near shutout of Coker in this fourth quarter. Shantiana Tillman will head to the line, however, after a foul called on Cargo. And an 81% free throw shooter in Shantiana Tillman heads back to the line. 2 of 4 today from the stripe, make it 3 of 5 as her first is true. Tillman has 23. Leading scorer from both sides today. At some point, she was near outscoring Limestone by herself. Nice dribble by Cargo, showing off her skills in a Saints uniform. A chance inside the cylinder, and too much on it from Dior Shelton. Taken away by the Cobras.
That's why Coker's the #1 scoring defense in the conference. Great first shot defense, great second shot defense as well by Kamari Thompson with the block.
Have really limited second chance opportunities. Another shooting foul. This one goes against Shelton of Limestone. And back to the stripe go the Cobras. So Ferguson goes to the line. Sophomore from Roebuck, South Carolina, and Dorman High School. The first shot from her is true. The sophomore averages just about 11 points per game. Hasn't quite gotten there today with just 5 on the score sheet. And the second shot of her trip to the stripe is good as well. The lead is back up to 20 for Coker.
What a phenomenal job Melissa DeVore has done. An assistant in 2015 for Limestone when the Saints made that run to the Final Four, hosted the Southeast Regional that year before losing in the national semifinals. Took the job at Coker a few years ago, and it really has transformed Coker. We talked off air about this tournament, and last year, at least on the women's side, there was so much star power, like multiple 2,000-point scores between Cataba's Lyric Thorne, Carson-Newman's Braylon Weichel, UVA Wise's Caitlin Ross. There were players in this league by virtue of their COVID years that had been in the conference for ages. And those teams all lost that. And credit to Melissa DeVore in this transfer portal era. Kept this team together. Maya Wasma, Shantiana Tillman. There's a good bit that returned, and it has paid off in dividends this year for the Cobras.
And you talk about now Coker, a tall task ahead in the semifinals as Tillman continues to light up the score sheet. She's got 26, nearing her career high, but taking on either a really difficult to play Catawba team and a Wingate team who knocked off Coker in the second to last game of the regular season. So for Coker, this is a team that likes to play defense, but it's tougher roads ahead after today.
Well, their offense has been pretty darn good today, too. And a lot of that has come with Shantiana Tillman's shot making, shots like that. 28 points for Tillman now, but 50% from field. They've been selective from beyond the arc, 42% from deep. That's above average for the Cobras. A lot of good adding up for Coker to pave the way to this 23-point margin right now.
A cut inside to the basket, falls out, and the possession belongs to Coker once more. Want to bring attention to Kamari Thompson in the worksheets on only 4 points today, but has been the leading rebounder with 13 rebounds, taken a lot of boards off glass for Coker, and really has been a big reason why the Cobras have been able to control this game so handedly.
Limestone has the edge on the glass, but part of that, the Saints have only shot 29.8%. So that's, what, 33 misses, 33 chances for offensive rebounds. They've got 14 offensive boards. That's why the rebounding battle tilts the way of the Saints, potentially a little bit unusually in this one. I don't think that rebounding has been the tail of this game. I think it's come down to turnovers and probably better suited lack of turnovers for Coker. Coker's taken really good care of the ball, and that 22 to 9 points off turnovers edge. A big reason why they're up, just coupled with shot making. Coker's done it. Limestone has struggled from the field.
Down the stretch, something to watch. Number 0 in white, Shantiana Tillman, who almost got the turnover but stepped out of bounds there. Just 2 points away from her career high that she set earlier this year, just last month, in a win against Newberry with 30. Certainly will try to achieve that through the final 6 minutes of play here. Another shot won't fall for the Saints on a good look from Reagan Cargo.
We're on record book watch for a couple of things. One, the defensive record for fewest points allowed. Limestone needs 4 more, and they'll avoid a spot in the record book. Fewest points allowed in a SAC tournament game is 38. But then also the single-game SAC tournament scoring record is within striking distance for Tillman. Bonnie Werner of Presbyterian had 37 against Lenore Ryan in the 2003 quarterfinals. And now Limestone has at least avoided the fewest points scored in a SAC tournament game.
Well, I'm sure the sweat is off the brow of Corey Fox and any Limestone fans avoiding a negative spot in that record book. Certainly would be something to put on the pedestal for Coker in regards to their defensive performance today. Tillman, meanwhile, looking for her career high and a spot in the record book. She would need to go off for the final 5 minutes of action to get into the SAC record book for most in a single game. So that'll take us to our under 5 media timeout. Coker has maintained the lead at 20 as we head down the stretch here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Coker 5 minutes away from heading to the semifinals for the first time in program history. We'll be back here from Rock Hill on Flow College.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
This place has a heartbeat of its own.
The vibe that you get when you walk into the student center, you just get a vibe that you're here at home.
It's given me opportunities that I never thought I'd have. Everyone here knows everyone. That atmosphere is infectious.
The relationships that I've built here have been phenomenal, and I know that they'll last like beyond here at Wise.
It's a magic little place in the mountains.
Back here from the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center, about to get underway for our final 5 minutes of game action today. 59-39, the current score in favor of the Cobras. Shantiana Tillman looking for a career high. She's 2 points away from matching that. Last month against Newberry is when she set her current career high. Fast break going the other way, a 2-on-1. Lay off glass and in. Solid position there as Kalisha Hill will be able to find the basket for Limestone. Hill in double-digit territory. She's got 10, same as Amara Newsom. Coker will play the winner of Catawba and Wingate. Oh my! From NBA range, Shantiana Tillman rewrites her own record book. She's got 31. It's a new career high for number 0 for the Cobras. Seems like she keeps getting better every single month. February 19th, she set her last one. A little under a month later, she sets it again. A foul on the way up will send Dior Shelton to the line for the Saints. And Adam, you mentioned it, Shantiana Tillman just 6 points away from tying the all-time SAC tournament record for points in a game.
She's had a dandy.
And she'll head off the floor. Most likely, I would say, the game for Tillman.
Yeah, if you're Melissa DeVore, you probably don't want to chase the record.
No.
And risk the SAC Player of the Year getting hurt in a game where you're up by 20 with 3:57 to play.
Well, she'll be tough to stop for either Catawba or Wingate on Thursday at 5 o'clock.
You know who I really want to know where the rooting interests align for this game is former Limestone Sports Information Director Ernest Myers, one of the best in this league in his tenure for Limestone. He was a college classmate of Melissa DeVore, but his daughter Aniston is a player on the Coker volleyball team. Split allegiances tonight in the Myers household.
A house divided as another 3-ball from Deja Ferguson. Well, guess you're going to have to send a text or an email and let us know where the allegiances lie tonight.
Blood over paycheck.
I would assume. You never know.
That's my gut.
It was
That's my gut.
Like my dad said when I went to college, my heart is one place, but my money's another.
Although that paycheck no longer comes from Limestone.
That is fair.
That paycheck no longer comes. I said former.
A 22-point lead for Coker as they close in on their first quarterfinal victory in their time in the South Atlantic Conference, which spans over a decade now. Closing in on program history are the Cobras of Coker. Again, Thursday at 5:30 is when the Cobras will hit the floor again. We're expecting a really good one out of their potential opponents, Catawba and Wingate, tomorrow at 5 o'clock. That's supposed to be a really fun one tomorrow.
I think this entire tournament, top to bottom, men and women, and we saw it on the men's side. 7th-seeded Anderson against 2nd-seeded Lenore Rhine. That was an absolute barn burner in overtime. LMU took down Carson-Newman twice in the regular season. Our upcoming women's quarterfinal game. The parity in this conference, both men and women, is truly remarkable.
I had a chance to talk. You were mentioning the birthday boy, SAC Commissioner Patrick Britz, earlier today, and was mentioning about how much parity there was, and he mentioned everyone except for Coker thought that Coker didn't have a shot to win the regular season. Well, here they are as the 1 seed, and talked about the parity in this league. Carson-Newman picked to finish first. They're the 2 seed, but have a really tough draw. Arch rival in Lincoln Memorial, who took them down twice. The only team to beat the Carson-Newman women at their home in Holt Fieldhouse. So an interesting quarterfinal coming up next, to be sure, on this floor here in Rock Hill.
I just think any of these teams, you look at it as the regular season comes to a close and you're determining, oh, what's the bracket look like? Who are you going to draw? And then your reaction, you want to play a Corey Fox coached Limestone team as
Absolutely
an 8?
Not.
Zero chance. Now, really has done a really nice job here today. They have made life difficult on Limestone, but that is not an ideal draw for any team in this league, let alone the top seed.
I feel like at any point in this league, on both the men's and women's side, you see your opponent in the SAC quarterfinals, and you're thinking to yourself, could we have anybody else? But the truth is, anybody you get, you're going to be saying that with, because everyone, if you're a top 8 team in this league on both the men's and women's side, you are a tough opponent for anybody.
Yeah, there are no gimmies in the South Atlantic Conference, and especially when it comes to the tournament.
Coker's lead is 22. An excellent shot made from Kalisha Hill. Her numbers continue to go up. She's now Limestone's leading scorer with 12. Just 2 minutes to go. Coker closing in. Mentioned before, the first quarterfinal win in their time in the South Atlantic Conference since joining the league in the 2013-14 season. So 11 years in the league for the Cobras. Have never won the regular season title as they did this year. Have never won a quarterfinal game, in which they are a minute and 58 away from doing. Kalisha Hill goes back to the line. She is 4 of 8 from the stripe.
Well, Melissa DeVore certainly has gotten her flowers, and deservedly so, as Coach of the Year in the South Atlantic Conference. But Corey Fox for Limestone, I mean, he gets to claim Melissa DeVore as a part of his coaching tree. Another former assistant and Limestone Hall of Famer, Sean Poppy, head women's coach at Clemson. I mean, clearly Corey Fox, he's done it for a long, long time. Early 2000s graduate for the Saints, and Gaffney has been his home for the entirety of this century, really, between his playing career and his days as an assistant and now the head women's coach. But he clearly can generate some good head coaching talent, and that's clear in what Melissa DeVore has done at Coker, and it's also clear what Poppy has done at Clemson.
Sure, you talk about Sean Poppy coming over from Chattanooga, gave that program its first tournament berth in quite some time. Just an excellent coaching tree from Corey Fox, and you almost think about it like the assistants of Nick Saban going off and doing great things. Same thing with Corey Fox, and it's almost bittersweet to see the student become the master for Melissa DeVore.
Well, you also have more SAC tie-ins on that Clemson coaching staff. Caitlin Grasillo, who was Ann Hancock's longtime assistant at Wingate, joined Poppy's staff at UTC, and then moved over with him to Clemson. So you've got a little now. Grasillo was a USC Aiken women's basketball player, so she doesn't have the playing career in the SAC. But you've got some pretty heady league tie-ins for coaches who have moved on to the Power 4 conferences.
Just over a minute to go in our first quarterfinal here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. The benches, for the most part, have been emptied. We're seeing a few players who average only a few minutes per game. And a backcourt violation will give the ball to Limestone. 61 seconds to go in our contest. Coker will play again on Thursday at 5 o'clock. The winner of Catawba, again, a really, really tough team representing the 5 seed. Wingate, who knocked off Coker in the penultimate regular season game, is the other opponent in tomorrow's quarterfinal on the women's side. Will be the third quarterfinal on the women's bracket. And the third quarterfinal of the day tomorrow should be an interesting one between Catawba and Wingate for the right to play Coker in the tournament semifinals. Another backcourt violation will give the ball back to Coker for the final possession of our ball game.
Now, what a job Coker has done defensively in this game. This is a Limestone team that started 6 of 12 from the field, 11 of 47, worse than 25% from essentially the opening minute of the second quarter on. Coker saw Limestone get within 2, and it has been all Coker since that moment.
Well, fans, stay tuned for our next quarterfinal, Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial. Carson-Newman may be the 2 seed. LMU has knocked them off twice. Question is who will prevail in round 3. Shantiana Tillman, a new career high as Coker celebrates its first quarterfinal win as members of the South Atlantic Conference. Their ticket has been punched to the South Atlantic Conference semifinals on Thursday against the winner of Catawba and Wingate. Adam, as we close the book on our first women's quarterfinal, what is your takeaway? What has Coker done that will make them so dangerous the rest of the way?
Well, we saw the Shantiana Tillman show, and that was what paved the way for the Cobras offensively. But it's the same thing that made them dangerous in the regular season. Defense was as good as it gets for Coker. Limestone was settling for jump shots early. They stopped starting attacking the basket, but Coker's first shot defense at the rim was really good. I was so impressed with their second and third shot defense. They did not allow Limestone to have a prayer on any second or third chances. For a team to shoot 28.8% from the field, and they do end up scoring 18 second chance points. The offensive rebounds ballooned a little bit late, but really at the end of the day, a phenomenal job for the Cobras clamping down on the Saints. And Melissa DeVore standing by with Andrew Rogers.
All right, thanks, Adam. Here with coach of Coker, Melissa DeVore. Coach, we talked at halftime about Shantiana Tillman. We'll talk about her again. 7 3-pointers in this game. Another really good game. What you like most about what she did today?
Yeah, no, she's been tremendous all year. Like the thing that makes her great is that all the behind the scenes. Like she's really has put in work over and over and over, and it's just it didn't happen right away for her, but it's nice to see it, come to fruition. She had a tremendous game, but she's such a dog. Like her effort is tremendous. Not only does she score 31, but she really guards. Just really proud of everyone though. Like we were super balanced. I think we had like 9 people score. It was a good fight second half.
What did you like most about the start to the second half? It was a 9-point game at halftime, a 15-1 run out of the gates. How was that so important to set the tone for how the rest of the second half will be played?
Yeah, if you statistically, if you look at our year, our third quarter is our best. I don't know if we come out with too much energy, but our defense has really carried, even in games when the ball doesn't go in, and that's what we went to third quarter. I mean, I think the first 2 out of their first 3 possessions we forced turnovers. So just tremendous defensive efforts. Holding that team can score. I think they score in the 70s. We kept them to 46, so that was impressive.
All right, you get the day off because you're one of the top 2 seeds. So what's the next couple of days look like? Because you don't know your opponent yet, but we'll take the floor, Thursday at 5.
Yes, for sure. We just got to rest. I think rest is important. It's nice that we got this game taken care of, and now we just got to rest and try to figure out how to get a defensive rebound here.
Coach, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you later this week.
Thank you.
That's Coker's head coach, Melissa DeVore. Guys, back up to you.
Appreciate it, Andrew. A 65-46 win for Coker over Limestone. Adam, Shantiana Tillman not only setting her personal career high of 31 points, but she's also rewriting the South Atlantic Conference Tournament record book as well.
Yeah, 7 threes made by Shantiana Tillman. ties the SAC tournament single game record that has been held by two players for, in one case, 22 years, and in the other case, 28 years. Susie Gaines of Gardner-Webb hit 7 against Mars Hill in 1997. Ashley Cox of Catawba hit 7 against Newberry in 2003. Shantiana Tillman officially in the SAC tournament record book with her 7-3 effort tonight.
And who else but the South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year doing that and rewriting the record book. Stay tuned as 30 minutes from now, the second quarterfinal in the women's bracket, Carson-Newman, the 2 seed, facing arch rival Lincoln Memorial, and the 7 seed in the bracket. 65-46, Coker winners, your final score from Rock Hill. Fourth quarterfinal of the day coming up next here on Flow College.